All right, I guess we can hit our predictions now. Who wants to start?
Digimon Survive's not releasing in 2022.
Just coming out of the gates fired.
It's not releasing in 2022.
All right, marking that one down.
It's getting delayed again.
Okay. 2023 or 2024? Or never?
I'm not convinced they made a game.
He's convinced that the game does not exist.
Digimon Survive is his moon landing.
It's the same screenshot.
I know, it's literally the same
That's never
picture.
changed.
I know.
It's been the same since it was initially announced.
Okay. Well, what else do you have for your predictions, John?
I'm gonna throw one out that we've been, at least me and you have been saying for years.
Okay.
Where we want, but we don't think it's coming anytime soon. I think we might get an announcement for Xenoverse 3.
Ooh, please, God.
Did you guys not get the memo? It's Breakers.
Fuck off. I want Xenoverse 3. God damn it.
Because I don't know. For some reason, I think they might try to go with like an engine upgrade or something for it. Because they've made a few different games now, or there's few different Dragon Ball games out there now. So maybe they're finally looking at like maybe we should update the game some, get a new engine in it, and it's like there's new content and stuff they could add into it now, trim the story a bit, maybe focus on more of the later story arcs and kind of cut back on the beginning stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm hoping to see an announcement for it this year.
When you were talking about the new engine, do you think they'll have like potentially an entirely brand new engine? Do you think they'll maybe use like Kakarot? Because I haven't played Kakarot, so that's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they would use Kakarot. Maybe just take what they have, and try to just refine it a little more, because the game is old and it shows its age when you try to go back and play it now. It's a little jank.
Kakarot?
No, Xenoverse 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Would you think, you say new engine, you think maybe try and use something like Unreal 5?
That's a little crazy talk, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
That would be amazing. I just don't know if they would use that. That's the problem.
No, it's like that just was something I thought of on the way over here. It would be nice to see at least some smoothing out in it. Maybe get new engine popped in, because it'd be nice to see an upgrade from what it is. Because I mean, hell, the game's how old at this point? Like, was it like 2016?
I was about to say, that sounds about right.
So, and it didn't look that much different from the first game.
No.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, because it released within like a year of the first one.
Yeah. Actually, yes. 2015 was Xenoverse release.
So it's like that's basically the same game with a little bit of gameplay differences. So I'd like to see at least some new some polish done on it, brighten it up a bit, make it look a little nicer, cut the story around a little bit. Maybe expand on. Maybe instead of having all of the early stuff that everybody's played across every single game they ever make, either come up with some your own stuff or just expand into the super content a little more fleshed out than like the DLC stuff where they add in like 4 new missions.
Or you take a real curveball and you do GT.
No, that's in...
Oh.
That's in the first one,
yeah,
probably.
The first one had a lot of the GT content.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
And the second one still has GT content, but it's just like the side missions and stuff.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to Super, like there was just like more... It was continued like extra story content that was just added on post-game, obviously. The only thing they've never really touched on is Dragon Ball, is the only thing I've never messed with.
With like even the Super stuff, it's like for each arc that they kind of added on to it. They really only added like 4 or 5 missions to it.
Yeah, it really.
So
wasn't
it's like
much.
they just very quickly jump through it.
And also just when it comes to adding to it, I want to say Xenoverse already. Yeah, Xenoverse already had Battle of Gods and Frieza, right? The super movies like that.
I have no idea.
That was already in there. So when it came to Xenoverse 2, they just they obviously was already naturally included, and then they just had the Goku Black arc and some of this Tournament of Power stuff.
Yeah, because two you could play Frieza Race and unlock the golden form.
Okay,
like from the get go, pretty much.
Gotcha. And also, Zach might be onto something with the Unreal Engine 5 because I did just confirm that Xenoverse 2 was Unreal Engine 4. So Xenoverse 5. I mean Xenoverse 3.
Xenoverse 5?
I'm jumping up way ahead.
Maybe that's why it's taking so long. They're just skipping numbers.
Yeah, yeah. No, Unreal Engine 5 for Xenoverse 3 would be pretty cool. John, did you have other predictions?
Well, what you got?
Well, I'll start. I've kind of divided mine up as like gaming in general. I only have like one PS5, like PlayStation 1. I got a couple Xbox, and I do have like 4 Nintendo ones because I like predicting on Nintendo stuff, even though I'm always fucking wrong. So,
I mean, you got Mario Party eventually.
Bingo. So for the Xbox, I'm going to go ahead and predict this. We've already talked about this before. It's been continuously something that's popped out in rumors, but I'm going to go ahead and predict that in 2022 that Xbox will announce their next big studio acquisition. We've already talked about that, about who it could potentially be. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that it will get announced this year. It's like a Bethesda level purchase is what's been talked about. I'm not sure who it could be. I do want to throw one studio out there, but I'm not saying this is going to be the Bethesda level. It might be in terms of, I guess, history, but in terms of like current standing, not even close. I do think Microsoft is going to buy Sega. I'm not calling that one the Bethesda level purchase, but I do think they are going to buy Sega. It's just a matter of when. But the main one that's been talked about, I really don't know who it could be. I genuinely I don't. We threw out multiple like notable studios, like we threw out the EAs, the Ubisofts, but I honestly have no idea who could be at this point. I mean, if it is the same level as Bethesda, I don't know, but I do think the announcement's going to come this year. I also am going to predict because I'm pretty sure it hasn't been officially announced, but we can all assume that it's in development. But I don't think the official announcements come. I think we're going to get the official announcement probably at E3. And a same year release of this fall of Gears of War 6. That is something that I am going to throw out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Zach, what about you? What are some that you've got?
I mean, out of my predictions, I'm hoping that the last series in the Dark Anthology is very well received and it's on the level of Until Dawn. Because each one of these games have been building, and the third one was great. So I'm hoping that in this, The Devil in Me hits Until Dawn level of just people's reaction and whatnot. Looking more into Rainbow Six Siege Extraction as a PvE game, I, for whatever reason, feel that that game might be more or less minuscule, if not almost dead by this time next year.
Ooh, okay.
Depending on what kind of content they add, because it's just strictly PvE, and they've stripped the operators just so much, I think this game may just be a people enjoyed their one-time event whenever whenever...
You think it's only going to be like maybe a couple months of popularity?
That's what I'm feeling. Depending on what... Because they're supposed to release more content within like the first couple months, but depending on what it is, I could very easily see this dying pretty quickly, even with Siege's fan base.
That's actually a very interesting one. That'll be one. I mean, we'll get to possibly see the results of that just in 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll die within 2 months. I feel like it'll hold strong for about 5 months or so, maybe half a year, and maybe we'll start seeing it die off if there's not a whole lot of content being added to it.
Okay. Another one of mine is my only PS5 one that I had. Well, actually, off the top of my head, I actually have another PS5 one. So the other PS5 one I have is that we will see a new PS5 release this year, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be like a PS5 Pro and it's going to be $100 more, something like that. We are just going to see a new one release because I do believe it's going to be made with like some new AMD chips. Because obviously the chip shortage has been the problem for all of our consoles. So we will see a new PlayStation 5 release this year. Will we see a new Xbox release this year? I don't know. But I do think we'll see a new model of the PlayStation 5. I just don't think it's going to be like a PS5 Pro, so it'll be $100. I think it'll just be the $500 console. That's all it's going to be. But other than that, I do think that we will get some more confirmation on Spider-Man 2, and I think what it will be is a 2023 release. I've seen some people online that are kind of optimistic that it's actually going to come out in fall of 2022, and I would absolutely love that, as I'm sure John would as well, but I don't think that's happening. I think it's going to be more of a 2023 window. That's my kind of take on it. If it came out in 2022, like fall, then fuck yeah, let's go, dude. That's going to be incredible. And I'm over the moon for that. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be a 2023, personally. Another prediction that I have that's kind of on an interesting note, especially because of news that just came out, like, I think literally last night, is I do think that we will see a huge surge this year in NFTs getting more involved with gaming, like more than they've already starting to. Because just last night, there was a statement released from the Square Enix president, how they are planning to incorporate NFTs in their projects kind of going forward. And I want to say it was, I think it was Epic Games have said that they want it, that they're open to the idea as well. So I think one thing that we're going to see throughout this year is we're going to see a lot more NFT stuff be brought into games, which I don't really see the hype in NFTs. I genuinely don't. Maybe it's because I'm uneducated on them. I don't know. I've kind of read a base about what they are, but I don't see the hype. I don't see the appeal, since it is all just digital. If it was something that I could physically hold, then yeah, I could see the appeal on it, whatever. But I don't see the appeal on NFTs. But I do think it's going to be a primary thing in gaming starting this year, which is kind of shitty, honestly.
I mean, it is, but it's sort of a change we can sort of ideally see in the future, maybe if not this year, going forward.
What about you boys? What are some other predictions you have before I just kind of rattle off more of mine? I got a few more.
I got, if it comes out this year, because it doesn't have a release date yet, Dokev will be the next best creature capturing game since Pokemon. That's the Pearl Abyss game.
The Pearl Abyss.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, Dokev, the one with a super catchy song and looks fucking amazing.
The one when you watch you
okay.
watch the trailer, you go, "What the fuck is happening?"
That's right.
Yes.
You're right. That did have a fucking catchy ass song.
Yes.
Now that I'm looking at it, I got you. I know what you're talking about. Okay. So you think that's gonna be like the next great monster catching game? Is what you said?
Since Pokemon.
Since Pokemon. Oh, okay.
Well, speaking of Pokemon, I think we're gonna get a Gen 9 announcement in quarter 4.
Okay.
I could see that.
I'll actually double up on you on that, because for me, that was one of my Nintendo predictions, is that we have Pokemon Day next month, which is always a time to expect announcements. My thought is no Gen 9 this year, but a Gen 9 announcement this year, like end of year. I could get onto what I'm saying is no Gen 9 release this year.
Yeah.
But I do think later this fall we will get Let's Go Johto. I think that's what's gonna be coming out.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting. The reason I say quarter 4 is they're not going to say anything in the first part of the year, because they do not want to take anything away from Arceus right now.
I agree.
It's like that is that's going to be their focus. I could see a Let's Go Johto, but at the same time, I don't remember how. I mean, I know they sold really well, but Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, I don't recall how well people actually liked playing them.
I mean,
it sold really well.
I know. That's why I said I know it sold well, but I don't remember. It
sold very well, and from what I saw, most people were fairly receptive to it.
Because it was like, I mean, they were fine for what they were.
Yeah.
But I played through. I don't remember which one. I think I got an Eevee. It's like I played through it. I mean, it wasn't the most enjoyable time I've had playing a Pokemon game, but it was fun. But
I just associated it
was kind of mediocre.
I just associated it as a giant Tamagotchi game.
I will say one thing about the Let's Go Johto. If they don't include the Kanto aspect of things like the original games, I feel like that's going to really ruffle a lot of feathers, honestly.
Well, it's half the game.
I know. That's why if they don't include it, I think that's going to ruffle some feathers. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, just make it Pokemon Snap 3.
Random question for you, John. for the Gen 9, do you want to throw out a random prediction on what the fire starter could be? Because based on that Zodiac theory that continues to be true, there's only 4 left that have not been used. It is ox, sheep, horse, and a snake. Do you want to try to throw a prediction out?
Wait, is that solely just for fire type?
Yeah, fire is
starters?
the only one that this happens to. Like it's legit. Every fire starter is a Zodiac. That's been a thing for years.
Okay.
I want to see a fire snake.
Fire snake would be kind of cool. I would say that or the horse. Give me the horse.
Well, we don't. I mean, we already have similar fire horse type
Fair.
Pokemon.
All right, give me the sheep. Give me something random like a sheep.
Well, that's why I was like, we've got a grass snake. I want to see a fire snake now.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I can see the fire snake being. Well, one thing to also keep in mind is the possibility of Gen 9 being more based potentially in India. That's something to kind of keep in mind, because like it was already kind of referenced a little bit in Sword and Shield with Chairman Rose. It was kind of referenced with him where he came from another region and stuff. And if you go read Kaparaja's Pokedex entry, then it actually references that Kaparaja came over from another region. So there's some other little tidbits of information kind of here and there that kind of point towards there being an India-based Pokemon region somewhere in the Poke world. So that's something to keep in mind for the future. That could be a Gen 9. We'll see. Still talking about Nintendo, I've already said it on multiple times. I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. I'm going to go ahead and hammer it to quarter 2 of 2023, like a May, basically the release of the original game. With that, what I think will come out instead is I do actually think the Twilight Princess Wind Waker combo will come out this fall, the Wii U ports. There's only a few Wii U games left that they have not ported, and I'm sure they will port because it's just their strategy, because obviously not a lot of people bought Wii U's. I mean, 15 mil is still obviously a lot. It's millions, but compared to everything else that they've had in the past, Wii U sold like dog shit. So I do think Twilight Princess Wind Waker will be an easy thing for them to put out there, because Zelda has become the same sort of game franchise as Pokemon, where every year you get a release.
Yeah.
So I do think that's going to happen instead. I know there's been a lot of rumors for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We know it's in the works, and it's potentially coming out this year, because when it came to this year, a lot of people were looking at 2022 as a mimic of 2017, where it's, Bayonetta 2 came out, Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Splatoon 2. And now we have Splatoon 3 coming out, Breath of the Wild. You see what I'm saying? But I don't think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is actually going to come out. It's just a gut feeling, but I do think the Xenoblade Chronicles X will get ported up, because again, that is one of the few games left on the Wii U that have not been ported. The only problem with the Xenoblade Chronicles X, while I played like 20 minutes of the game, I do think there would be a decent amount of work that would have to be done to port it, because to my understanding, you literally have to use the gamepad. It's a mix of the gamepad and what's all happening, as most Wii U games kind of were. But there are some Wii U games that were pretty easy to port, but to my understanding, the gamepad, you literally couldn't do anything without it. So I'm kind of curious at how that would work getting ported up, especially like for people that may want to play in handheld mode or something. Like how would that work? And then the last thing, which I feel like this one is kind of obvious, especially with how things have been so far, is I'm going to say no next-gen console for Nintendo next year, end of year. There's been some rumors of that for end of fall, but I'm going to go ahead and hammer for 2023. Ideally, what I think is going to happen is probably like a May release, Breath of the Wild 2, new gen console, same time. Repeat of 2017. That's what I think is going to happen. I only had 2 more delays. They're very quick. One, this is obvious. Shortage will continue to 2023. I don't see that fucking improving. And then I'm actually going to throw it out there. Gotham Knights will be delayed to 2023. Just a gut feeling. That's all. But that's all my predictions. You boys have more?
You got anything, Zach?
I mean, no, I don't got anything really off the top of my head. I'm feeling, because I really don't want to throw some of them out there.
Yeah. Kind of keep it on the Nintendo train. You know one thing we haven't necessarily got a new one of in a while. Mario.
That is true. Just that, not a new game. Yeah, you're right.
Not a new game. Yeah. Not a. So
maybe an announcement.
I'm thinking at the very least an announcement.
I mean, we're getting the Mario movie this year.
Fuck off.
It's Chris Pratt, man.
He's very funny.
Oh, I'm another thing. Talking about announcements in Nintendo, and I feel like you would be potentially on board with this one as well. Is I do think we'll get an announcement for new Fire Emblem this year. I don't. When I say new, let me backtrack a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna have brand new or some sort of remake. I don't know if we'll have like an Echoes game or something.
So you mean like a Western release of a game?
Yeah, either a Western release or a
Fire
remake.
Emblem announcement.
A Fire Emblem announcement.
Not a new one.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Now, one little, it's a small rumor thread that I've been following for a little bit now, but it hasn't had like a lot of backing where I was like, oh, let's throw it in the rumor mill, but I'll go ahead and throw it in here, is that I have seen some rumors potentially that both of the Radiance games are going to get ported up into like a collection, like a remaster little bundle, which would be really cool considering one of those games I really want to play, but it's like $400, and I'm not buying that.
I mean, that's nothing.
Fuck off, Zach.
Talk to that one.
Will you buy it for me?
I mean, if you can find it.
eBay?
Fuck no. eBay's going to rip you off.
Well, I'm never going to get that game then. But I do think we'll get a Fire Emblem announcement this year. I feel like it's time. They're cooking up something. It's just a matter of what.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I had. Mine was mostly kind of Nintendo thoughts.
Yeah. It's fun predicting Nintendo because you're guaranteed to be wrong.
Yeah. Whatever you predict, they're going to go, this is what people thought. Let's do something else.
Yep, and that's what makes it fun to predict.